What's going on, people? Welcome to the Sunday Night Fright Fest. If you guys can hear me, you can see me. Drop a one in the chat. Let me know. Then I'm good to go. Thank you, Lizzie B. Appreciate you. Yeah, I put out a video the other day responding to, or at least comment. I won't say even responding, but that's not fair. It was more or less reacting to Mary and Jen's post that they made on Instagram talking about potential threats to Janelle, like saying it, she was being threatened physically over some of the commentary and content that appeared on Sister Wives last season. And I still stand on the fact that don't do that shit. And I'm not just saying that. Obviously, I'm saying that with Janelle and other cast members in mind. But just thinking about you and your future, don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to ruin your life for somebody, one, who isn't asking for it, two, isn't looking for it, three, isn't expecting it, and four, to paraphrase something they say, at the end of the day, we don't necessarily have the full story on everything that's going on. So we got to be smart. And going to prison for somebody else's shit is crazy. Like there's a list of people in this world I'd be willing to go to prison for. Right? And that list is maybe about the size of my hand. I never really sat down and counted out. Maybe a couple over the size of my hand. Definitely under two hands. Right? And I'm here to tell you that Janelle, Mary Christine, Robin and Cody are not on that list. They are not on that list. They're not on my short list of people I'm willing to go and spend the rest of my life in prison for, destroy my family for, not be able to see my kids for. So that I want to put that to bed. But during the course of that, it kind of came up that some well, at least one of my, I won't say some, one of my longtime viewers had said that I was kind of being unfair to the cast members now. And that kind of got me to thinking. I like to think that I'm being extremely fair when it comes to a lot of these situations. I try to be more gracious and forgiving than, in some cases, I think this situation even calls for. But in light of that, I was kind of inspired to want to talk about the idea of fairness, right? Am I being unfair? Am I bashing them? Am I slashing them? Am I cutting them? Am I hurting them? Or my commentaries, my remarks on the sister wife content actually damaging the OG3? And so I wanted to talk about it. But when I talk about it, I want to talk about principles and not necessarily personalities. What do you mean by that, James? Principles, not personalities. How do we separate the two? What I mean is, if something is wrong, then let's say that shit is wrong. If somebody does a good thing, let's say it's a good thing, regardless of who it is or who's involved. Like, I don't like the idea or concept or notion that I have to hold my judgment or opinion until I find out the players involved. So if I hear that something happens or something terrible happens, I have to say, wait, hold on, y'all. Who did it? Who did this terrible thing that could damage the family or destroy them financially? Who was it? Because if it was one of these people, it's okay. If it's one of these people, then, oh, no. We're going to go crazy. Oh, no. This the devil. So I want to talk more about like the principles, focus more on the principles and not necessarily the personalities. In this, I think the core question is, you know, is our fairness or our application of fairness, has it been consistent? You know, would we react the same way if a different wife did the exact same thing? And I know like folks get tired of talking about the backdoor deal, but if we found out that it was Robin who presented to Cody the idea or concept of the black backdoor deal, will we be sitting there saying, "Well," because even I'm saying I'm in this too. I'm having this conversation. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking with y'all because I'm in the same boat. Because when the backdoor deals thing was first presented, what did I say? What did James on My Take Reality say? I said, "Whoa, guys, whoa! I got to keep my powder dry. I got to hear Janelle's side. I can't make no decisions on what happened. I can't say she was wrong. I need to know the full story." But if I'm going to be honest with myself, and this is why I say I'm in it too. If I'm going to be honest with myself, had it come out that Robin had went to an attorney, and then after talking to that attorney, she presented to Cody, "Hey, you know what? We need to sell this land out from underneath all these women." And then Cody, of course, comes back with the same position that he had. We're going to sell the land out from underneath them. And then when they sign or fill out the documents, I'm going to give them the proceeds or the profits that they've earned once they've signed the NDA and the settlement financial settlement documents. How many videos would be on YouTube right now? You know what I mean? Just on my channel alone, I probably have like 5-6 videos talking about it. Like that rascally rabbit, that some of my biche, that ridiculous, some old and square head, so, you know what I mean? Going crazy. But because it was Janelle, one of the OG3, somebody that, historically I've, and I'm not saying I don't now, but somebody historically I've defended and talked about on the channel, especially positively. Oh, whoa, guys, we got what, whoa, whoa, let's not jump the gun here, So we have to ask that question. Would we react the same way if a different wife did the exact same thing? And then there comes a question too. Do our standards change depending on who we like? So if it's one person doing it, all of a sudden it's not about, they did this terrible thing and they could have hurt people and how it impacted the family. All of a sudden the conversation goes to, well, we got to understand the history and the way their culture works. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's all kinds of like standard shifting. So I just want to be very clear about that. And I'm not even trying to advocate, and I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to advocate that we should just throw them all in a bag and just, crash and bash and burn all of them. That's not what I'm saying. I just want to take a step back, especially now that the season is over. A lot of the drama has stopped. A lot of the we're starting to see more of their personalities, individual personalities, separate and apart from their ties to the other cast members. I think now is the time for us to take a step back and actually see them for who they are. And I say this, and I think that this is important because this is something that I even remind myself of, even in my personal relationships or professional relationships. You always have to constantly evaluate where you are and what you're doing in your relationships. And this is a criticism that I think many of us had, even if we're going to talk about personalities, issues, and histories. Hold on one second. Let me fix something. I think this light is jacked up. It's got my thing looking crazy. Okay, that's a little better, I think. But one of the issues that I've had is that I don't want to be in a situation where I'm basing my feelings, attitudes, or opinion on somebody based on something that I thought about them a long time ago. We constantly have to update that information, so we have to reevaluate where we are and who we're dealing with, because that's one of the criticisms that we've had against the OG3 historically. Why don't they leave? They keep talking about Cody from 20 years ago. The Cody that's standing in front of them now is obviously a different person, or in my opinion, he's always been the same person. He just now is able to express the person that he's always been and be more of the person that he's always been. And the truth of the matter is that you don't like the person that he's expressing now, and because you're too hyper focused on the person that he was pretending to be by hiding the person that he actually is. And so you're focused on that. And I think that that's one of the things where the constant evaluation whack it do. You guys can still hear me and see me? Hey, love, Soka. Yeah, it's not working. What's up? Yeah, Katie said, fair enough. Step back and analyze the state situation. That's why we all watch it. I had try to have one of these types of conversations. All of a sudden, it's like a major problem. like, all of a sudden, my whole system and shit is shut down. My sound go out. Oh man. Oh, this was crazy. But that's all right. We're gonna press through because I'm gonna speak my speak. I'm gonna speak my speech. You know. But so here's the thing. Um, I guess ultimately the question is, do our favorites get interpretation while the others get judged? Right, right, right. We could go back and forth all day. Like, despite the fact that Cody had a spiritual marriage ceremony with Robin, and then he eventually legally married Robin, I bet you money that I could find fans in the sister wife universe who would argue that Cody's affiliation with Robin was an affair. Right. But if you ask those same people, do you think Mary cheated on Cody with the catfish? No, no, that's not cheat. So is it that we're looking at it and we give our favorites more interpretation because we want more completeness as far as the information is being observed and discussed? Or is it just, depend on, like I said, depend on who we like? And again, I don't want to turn this into like, maybe we're too hard on Cody, maybe we're too hard on Robin, maybe we're not hard enough on the OG3. I don't want to turn it into that, because I think And I stand on this, irregardless of whether I know everything about their excuse me, whether I know everything about their situations or not, or I understand every aspect of their life. When push comes down to shove, at the end of the day, if you do something I find despicable, I'm going to say that. And if you it's presented in a way where it looks despicable, I'm not going to make any bones about it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, if Cody did something as far as his kids are concerned, oh, I need to find out all the ins and outs of how he's doing with his children and blah, blah, blah. I don't need to do all that. You know what I mean? And like I said in my video, if any of them, whether it's OG3, Cody, Robin, disagree with how they're being presented on the show, stop bitching about it, stop complaining about it, stop crying about it, and do something about it. We live in a time in the information age, in a time in human history where there are too many outlets, too many ways for you to get your story out, your side of the story out, for you to disseminate information which you feel is important for people to understand what is going on. If you want to take the position that is none of our business, that we shouldn't have to worry about it, we shouldn't be listening to it, so on and so forth, then that's on you. Then the description and the way things are presented is just how it's presented. You know, it's kind of too bad, so sad. You know, and again, I want to emphasize the point that I'm not asking people to stop liking the OG3 and start, feeling bad for Robin and Cody. That's not my purpose. I'm just asking the gut check question: if the rules stay the same. If the rules stay the same, like we're going to be outraged. I want to have righteous outrage. I guess that's ultimately, what I want. I want to have righteous outrage. I want to be able to, if I say that something is offensive, I want to be able to say that this thing is offensive and not have somebody come back and hit me with the whataboutism bullshit. Like, oh, well, what about the time when Robin did this and blah, 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 and you said this terrible thing and you called her all kinds of names and, called her unibrow and you called her like crybrows and all kinds of terrible stuff. But then if the OG3 did the same thing, it's, oh, but you got to understand the situation they was in. You got to understand how hard life was for them. You got to understand, you know what I mean? If we're going to be outraged, I'm just saying, let's just be outraged. That's kind of where I'm at. What is this? Hey, my thing works. It was emotional cheating, but because he was on purpose, was being a hole to her and didn't want to see her. Didn't want her, so she had a right to get love somewhere else. Yeah, see that I don't disagree with it. The only, I guess, distinction without a difference that I would make really is just the specification. Yes, it was cheating, but there are mitigating circumstances which can go a long way in justifying her behavior. Not necessarily validate cheating and make cheating okay. Because I'm careful. I also want to be careful about the slippery slope of saying that if, for instance, if my wife isn't doing something that I want her to do, or or I have a specific kink that I like, right? And my wife don't want to participate in it. I feel neglected. I feel hurts. Do I get to go out and experience this thing that my wife refuses to do? And I'm justified? Like, no. You know what I mean? Like, so like when you open that door, that's the only thing that I'm afraid of. That's the only thing that concerns me. I don't want to say afraid of, but that's the thing that concerns me. Let's see. Love Soka says, I think we cut them some slack, but ultimately still will gather information and hold them to the fire if needed, like with Janelle this season. And I think that that's fair. And I don't have a problem with that. I 100% agree with that. Like, if you do something wrong, I think you, as a friend, if I was your friend, if I consider myself a friend of Janelle, a supporter of Janelle, a peer of Janelle, or whatever, I think that it's on me, especially because I am somebody who is supporting her, to say, pull her aside and say, yo, what you doing? Like, don't know. That's a bad look. I use the example of if I go out with one of my guy friends and I was at his wedding and I know his wife and I pick him up at his house. And when I pick him up at his house, I wave and say hi to his wife, whose wedding I was at and possibly in. And me and my buddy go to the club or the bar. And I'm a little old for club, but we stand in the bar, right? And while we're there, he starts chatting up this young lady, and they talking about they getting ready to go, and he just need me to maybe swing by the hotel later and pick him up. I'm gonna pull my friend aside and gut check him, not punch him, but I'm just ask him like straight up, you know, bro, what are you doing? Are you ready to? Because what you're proposing is, and I make it very clear, like what the potential outcomes could be. Are you willing to jeopardize and potentially ruin your marriage for this young lady? Because where I'm from, you know, you fuck with them, you stuck with them. So if this is what you want to do, bruh, this your new lady. This your new situation. You can't go home no more. Like, this is it. So the question, like a friend is going to pull you aside. And to me, somebody who's not your friend is the one who's going to sit there and key and giggle and slap your hands and shit and smile and give you the thumbs up as you walking out the door, ready to blow your life up. That's not your friend, right? So if I'm your friend and I'm taking it like if I'm their friend and I hear them do something that's kind of sneaky, then it's on me to say, yo, that was kind of jacked up what you did. And that's all I'm saying. Like, and I think that's all part of like being fair and holding people to account. It's not me trying to make them feel bad or make them horrible or retroactively justify why Cody and Robin were doing them the way they were doing them. It's just me holding them to account. Like, don't be that person. You're going to beat them by not becoming them. Because if you become them and you do to them, you try to do to them what they tried to do to you, or you try to do to somebody else what has been happening to you, you are no longer the hero in the story. You're the villain. You went from being the hero of this story to villain of somebody else's. And so that's just kind of where I'm at with it. That's why I just keep asking. Like, I'm not saying bash them. I'm not saying, we have to stop liking them and stop supporting them. I'm just saying that I think there's a fan base. We have to hold them accountable. And by holding them accountable, I'm not saying that we contact them and say, I heard about the backdoor deal, and when I see you, it's on and popping. I'm not saying that. In fact, I completely disagree with that. So, yeah. What is that? Sweet tea talks. Okay. What's this? Right. Won't let me pull it up. Is that right? They justify Mary's affair by saying that Cody was cheating on her with 3 other women. Yeah, those wives. I know, right? You could have an affair of the heart. What's this? You could have an affair of the heart. And I believe that is what happened with Mary. Yes, Cody was abandoning her, but she made a bad choice based on what Cody did, and that's on her. Right? Just own your shit. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, just own your stuff. And I think, like, I guess I'll talk in the end about something that occurred to me, especially as they're doing these like self-help, how to improve your life, make your life better, workshops. I think acknowledging where you made a mistake, acknowledging your failures goes a long way when you're trying to counsel people on how to navigate their troubled waters, as opposed to coming off like, look at my life is perfect. Perfect. Be like me. Like, I won't be like you. Your life is great. My life sucks, What's this? if someone says something about against OG3, they get called Robin. LOL. It's like being called a Karen. You better not talk about my OG3s. All right. Um, what's this? Sharon. If we are rating these people based on their choices and actions over the course of 20 seasons, uh, start a list and add up all the points Cody and Robin are winning, and not in a good way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, and I think that like by doing this and having this like basic exercise, um, it's not vindication, and it's certainly not clearing anybody's name. By me saying that we have to hold everybody accountable, it doesn't remove accountability from anybody else. If you did the wrong thing, you did the wrong thing. Uh so let's talk about like something else, like I guess intent versus impact. Oftentimes we defend people uh and by saying like oftentimes we defend people that we like by focusing on their intent, what they intended to do, right? You know, some of the classic lines, she didn't mean it like that. She was hurt. Her feelings was hurt. She was humiliated. She was depressed. She was sad. She was lonely. Uh, she had her own personal reasons as to why she did what she did. It's not her fault. But regardless of what somebody intends, and there's an old saying that I kind of like, what is it? The road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? The impact still exists, even when there are perfect or good intentions. You know what I mean? It's just understanding that that's the case. Like you can intend something positive to happen or something you didn't mean as much harm, but the impact of the thing that you did could create a tremendous amount of harm. You know, so I think that that's part of it. So I guess the question comes, like, at what point does sympathy turn into excuse making? And I guess even at that point, can someone be sympathetic and wrong? You know? So can somebody like you feel bad for them, but you look at them and say, you know what? That was still grimy. Like I like to even talk about the backdoor deal. I genuinely can sympathize with Janelle's circumstances. Like if I believe not everything Cody said, that'd be ridiculous. But that would be ridiculous. If I believe that Janelle was at least discussing the possibility or potential for a backdoor deal or agreement with Cody, then I can look at that situation and say that that was the wrong thing to do. But at the same time, I sympathize with her situation because as we discussed, or as I talked about, I want to say, I won't put it on anybody else. I talked about it a while ago in season 18. And one of the most depressing things I'd seen on Sister Wives was Janelle standing there at 50 some odd years old, realizing that she absolutely had nothing with her in her name. That she was quintessentially broke, quantifiably broke, because everything that she had was all tied up and dependent on somebody else. So even though her name appeared on like the $1.6 million worth of Coyote Pass land, at the end of the day, there was nothing she could do with that asset without somebody else agreeing to terms as far as that asset sale and how much the division was going to be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like she didn't have anything. And then so much so when she is sitting there in Arizona and she decides to move across the country to North Carolina, she didn't move to North Carolina into her own independent residence. She moved in with her daughter, you know? And then she is working with her daughter to try to acquire this land, and she's trying to pull her weight. So she needs that money from the sale of Coyote Pass because that is her assets. That's all the money that she has, right? The money she has coming in or the money she has saved up. So I understand that's a sympathetic situation. Can you be sympathetic? Absolutely. Absolutely. We can look at that and say, I understand why she felt the way she felt and how desperate that must have felt for her to be in that circumstance or situation. At the same time, we could look at it and say, it was the wrong choice. It was the wrong decision that was being made. You know, uh, what does it say? Let's see. Lit mom said, at what point does sympathy turn into, oh shit. These criminals do not play, boy. Yes, they on overtime today. Okay, I'll read it. From Lit Mom. At what point does sympathy turn into excuses? Good point, James. Thank you very much. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, I feel bad for. It's okay. They robbed a jewelry store. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I guess that's the old like, adage. Guy goes into a market and he steals some diapers and some baby formulas because his baby is hungry and he needs diapers for his baby. That's sympathetic. I understand that. It's a terrible, wrong decision, wrong damn choice. Especially if you go in there with a Roscoe, like you're looking at almost 5 years mandatory, right? But in some states, but you go in there, you do that thing. All right, sympathetic. But if a guy breaks into a jewelry store and he tries to steal like $5 million worth of diamonds, and he said, "I did it because my baby is hungry." Like, that could be the case. But I mean, you're trying to set the baby up with like Courtier. Like, what the shit? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? This ain't right. What is this? Katie says some stupid decisions don't deserve my sympathy. And I get that too. Like, I think that like you could be a sympathetic person, but your decisions are inexcusable. I think that's part of the layering. But I'm not trying to bash nobody. I just want to be honest in how we approach it. DeJam, Janelle made TV money, $400,000 plexus based on her level, likely 500,000 SGLV. Her strive with Janelle, she had her own LLC since 2018 in Las Vegas. Okay. Yeah, but that also gets into something we had talked about a little bit yesterday too. Is that sometimes, and I've seen this, sometimes you have people who make a tremendous amount of money, have like these great opportunities, make a tremendous amount of money, and they have like zero savings. You understand what I mean? Like if a $500 emergency happens, they'll make six figures, but if a $500 emergency happens, they are cooked. Like they are cooked, right? But you make at least mid six figures. Like, how do you not have $500? Yeah, because I run my credit cards like a fool and I spend my money like crazy. And I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses and appearances. And I'm trying to take care of everybody I know and my family and my kids and my neighbors and everybody. I'm just passing out money like Christmas cards. And there are people, and I'm gonna keep it all the way a stack. Because like I said, with the diversity of people I encounter. I've known people who will make mid six figures and they have like no money in savings, like nothing, right? And I've known people, and this is one person I'm thinking about in particular. One person I'm thinking about in particular worked at Walmart overnight, had two kids by herself, all alone, in the cut, two kids, Walmart overnight, had a mom babysitting the babies while she was at work. Her mom and her dad was watching the kids while she was at work. She had in savings, like everything she made, she pretty much put away, unless it was something for the kids or food or the bills that she paid. Everything else went in savings. She legit had like, I don't throw the numbers out, but I mean, it was like tens of thousands of dollars that she had put away. You understand what I mean? Like she was that like, I'm not my situation is jacked up. I don't have no man to depend on. I don't have nobody. Like I'm staying with my parents. I can't really trust this situation. So I'm going to build myself a back door and I'm going to take care of my situation. And she did that, making like, and this is before people was making almost $20 at Walmart. I'm talking about during this time, she was making, I think she started like $7, something like that. And maybe she was close to $10 an hour, some shit, but she had tens of thousands of dollars. And I mean, and I'm not talking about like 10,000, 15. I'm talking about money. She had money. Okay. But she was just determined to put money away. And she was able to do that. And then at the same time, I knew people who were working for law firms, on the partner track, living downtown, driving, BMWs, big body BMWs. I'm not talking about like the little wannabe Ford with the stamp BMW on it. I'm talking about the BMW, right? Driving them cars. No money. No money. I'm talking about they go out, they trying to split bills because they was in trouble. But it's just, some people, even though they make a lot of money, I always say like your neighbors, like keeping up with the Joneses is always a bad look because you don't know what your neighbors spend their money on. You don't know. You see them with a lot of cool stuff like, oh, they getting their roof done. Or every time I turn around, they got a sign out in front of their house. They getting some work done in their house, getting a new kitchen, new basement put in. They getting a sunroom, an addition. They getting a deck built. They putting a pool in. But you don't know how they're paying for it. They could be spending all their money and buying all that shit on credit. And the thing with credit is when you buy shit on credit, you still owe that money. You know what I mean? Many of you are like, of course, James. But you know what I mean? When some people, they might not understand that shit. They might just not good with money. Because we've seen where some bad business decisions were being made. Buying $500,000 houses, the way they purchased them, only to turn around, sell those same $500,000 houses for $100,000 profit, only to have those $500,000 houses that they sold for $600 turn into $1 million and a half properties, right? Within a year or 2 years after they sell them. So we've seen where they, a lot of the money is going, and they give money to the family, and Cody and Robin walking around with Rolexes and brand new watches and dolls and shit like that. So a lot of that money gets bled off. But I understand what you're saying. The jam. Megan said, understanding why you did something is important so you can learn and not make the same mistake. That's true. At the same time, wrong is still wrong. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's the thing. Like we got to hold a principle and a standard. And it's not to judge them and make them feel bad. It's just, when we look at it and we, kind of to Lip Mom, I almost said your name for real, your real name. To Lip Mom's point, we can sit around and make a bunch of excuses for things or why people do stuff and how they do it and why it's okay to understandable, but we have to have like some kind of standard because the same way, and I even point to the idea that uh, we have to understand how people were brought up in their culture. Well, Robin and Cody were brought up in that same culture, and by their cultural standard, Robin and Cody aren't that bad. So do we say as a collective group say that Robin and Cody, the decisions they made and the impact that they had, the intention wasn't bad, even though the impact was horrible on the family and everybody's finances. Well, that's just how they were raised. That culturally, that's what they believe. Robin, she was raised by a woman who was married to a man who had a primary family, treated basically Robin and her mom like a secondary family. And I'm sure that when Robin was sitting there watching this happen, she said, you know what? I don't want to be in my mom's position where the man comes over, once a week. I want to have a man in my house. I want to pull strings. So that influenced her decision. When he's making decisions for his family and for his kids, maybe he puts his kids first from his other family before he puts Robin, which isn't that hard to imagine. If he's seeing those kids Monday through Friday and only seeing Robin maybe Friday evening to Sunday afternoon, and then he leaves to go back to his family, she may look at that and say, I want to be in a situation where my husband sees my kids 5 days out of the week and he'll maybe spend a night over at some other wife's house. But I believe in polygamy. She believes in that version of polygamy. Like, and this is a game that we could play all the time. But see, when you have a certain standard or you have principles, the game is a lot harder to play. It's a lot harder to switch pieces and try to do the sliding scale of principalities and standards. And that's all that's kind of what I'm saying. Like I said, I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm definitely not trying to make excuses for Robin and Cody or how they act or react. Uh, so I guess the next thing I guess I'll talk about might be like revenge framing. Right, what I'll call revenge framing. Uh when someone views when someone viewers dislike is on the receiving end of bad behavior, uh that can start to feel like justice. So if Christine did something and it was treacherous and it made Robin and Cody upset and maybe ruined them financially, like, yeah, that's what your ass get. Hey, you deserve that, sucker. You know what I mean? That's karma coming back around. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of things we would say. Um and it asks the question, do we sometimes cheer harm because it feels deserved? Like you had that one coming. So when you got jacked up, oh well. I might be guilty of that, petty ass. Uh, but are we mistaking like punishment for accountability? You know, the question, and what I mean by that, are we mistaking punishment for accountability? Is they had it coming a moral pass? You know what I mean? Like, are we excusing bad behavior because, well, they had it coming. They deserved it. I don't know. This is a question I'm legitly asking. I'm not even saying I'm coming down on a position. Uh, because I think that's the thing. Like, I think that when we look at it, we might look at Because if something happened, like when Christine took Cody, and I think a lot of what fed this was like when Christine took Cody for child custody, it wasn't just the fact that Christine was taking Cody to child custody and child support so that he could start taking care of Truly because it was in Truly's best interest. And I could tell by the numbers on, especially on other content creators' videos who made like very inflammatory content talking about how Cody gonna go broke, how the judge gonna come in there and see all these purchases and take all his property away, and he gonna be financially ruined. Once the child support gets set, it's gonna destroy Cody and Robin's whole life because Christine gonna get all their money. And there were people who were like, yeah, we're gonna destroy them, yeah. And that wasn't because they were the best interest of Truly. It was because we felt justified or felt vindicated or felt like Christine was getting some get back. Right. And that's why I made the video that some folks didn't like, where I said, we gotta manage expectation, guys, because if you are even the least bit familiar with family court, the child custody and child support systems, I'm telling you right now, they are not giving Christine enough money. They're barely giving Christine enough money to take care of that child, kinda. You know what I mean? And again, I've seen situations where people have filed child support and one, because they have full custody, other parent don't come around at all, they'll get child support and they'll be paying the court order will be like $75 for 2 kids, $70 for 2 kids a month. And I'm telling you right here, right now, there ain't shit you can do with $70 with 2 kids. You can't do jack shit with $70 with 2 kids. You might be able to take. I don't even think you could take them to McDonald's twice. How about that? Like as expensive as shit is now, you can't even take them to McDonald's twice. Maybe you take them for like a breakfast and a dinner, but you can't take them to get them like no. They can't get 2 Big Mac meals 2 days in a row. So, like that's kind of one of the things that we have to kind of balance out. Because sometimes it does feel like it's karma, but there is a part of it that feels like justice too. Hold on one second. And of course, as we talk about it, let me see. I want to check out some of these. Yeah. I laugh when I think of what Robin said to Cody. I can't help you. I'm trying to grow this baby. Hello, what a diva. You on your own. That's because Robin didn't want to be associated with Cody's bad decisions. What is this? Gringa Beanpole. Gringa Beanpole. I've said since day one that not one of the adult Browns has any idea how to handle money. With all the money they've each made, they should be able to pay cash for a house. Right. I mean, houses should be paid off. Because even if you buy like a $500,000 house, like you figure if they made, on average, they made about $100,000 a piece. Even if you did that for 20 seasons, if they made $100,000 for the 20 seasons, that's $2 million. And like since season 17, when they renegotiated their contract, they're making $1 million a season. And you guys don't own a house yet? House payments, mortgages, what? 30-year mortgage is for what? Like, yeah, well, we did have 18 kids. Technically, you had 6 kids on average per household. So you had Robin had 5, Christine had 6, Janelle had 6, Mary had 1. So, and then Cody's money is Cody's money. But if you guys were putting away, like I said, I'm talking about the young lady I knew from who worked at Walmart. If she can save, a respectable amount of money making jack shit, like she wasn't making any money and she was just putting away. If she can save that money, there's no way you could tell me that you guys can't save that money. You making 6 figures. Like these folks is making 6 figures. And I understand. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like, there is kind of that feeling of, oh, poor them. Oh, they so poor. Oh, they don't know how to do shit because they poor. And they homeless. They food insecurities and all this, that, and other. There was a time when I don't doubt that there was a time when they did suffer from food insecurity, but it wasn't when they were on the show. Once the show started, the money started rolling in. And it's just what they chose to invest in is what made the difference. The next thing that we'll talk about is the parasocial loyalty. Right? And parasocial, this is actually where it gets kind of funny. This is what I was talking about with the whole issue with Janelle. By its very nature, reality TV makes people feel protective. We like who we like, and regardless of what the cast members on Sister Wives say, there are villains and there are heroes. There are people that we sympathize with because they are the victims of someone else's villainry. And so we sit there and we feel sorry for them. And to a point, we become very protective of these individuals. And even to the point where you have content creators, not just myself, but I've seen where another content creator, I don't know if they want me to holler their name out, but I see where they came out and they made a reaction video to the not a reaction video, but they made a comment on Facebook responding to what Mary was saying about Janelle, and people went at them. Like, folks went at them because they was just merely saying, like, guys, this is what it is. Like, if somebody don't threaten people, it's not right to threaten people, but at the same time, you can't be mad that people watch the show and they have opinions about you based on the things that they see. You can't be mad about that, right? So if nobody has a right to threaten another person and make them feel unsafe physically, but if I disagree with something, decisions that you make or things that you do, I have every right to disagree with you. And the parasocial loyalty a lot of times will prevent folks from feeling like, they accept any criticism, even if it's honest and fair criticism of the person that they feel like they're protecting, because I like them. You can't talk bad about them. And to a point, it's like, do the fans feel like they're protecting or defending a friend? Like, this person is their buddy, and you've seen so much of their life, you feel like you know them. But even as, Christine, Mary, Janelle, Cody, and Robin have said, we don't know them. I've said it a ton of times on this channel, and I'll say it a ton of times more. These people are not my friends. I don't know them. The only thing I know about them is the stuff I see on the show or interviews and perspectives and points of views that they have on social media or in interviews or whatever. I don't know them. So it would be crazy for me to feel like everything they do is right. Because I don't know. And there's also a point where when we look at it, we have to recognize the fact when we've emotionally invested for years into people and their situation and their kids and their family and their finances and all that kind of stuff, is objectivity even possible? Is it even something that we can still aspire to? And I think that that's an important question. So let me know what you guys think. Can we be objective? Because we've been watching this show for so long and we're so used to being on this person's side or these people's side and against these other folks. Can we be objective? You know? And I don't know. I think that that's a question I asked myself. And again, I had to go back and I had to check myself on that situation. Because I do want to be objective. I do want to be fair. But I want to make sure that when I say things and respond to things, that it's out of fairness. Is this Miss Monica, the new empty nester, said the ladies weren't making six figures because they were too busy being pick me and letting Cody and Robin steal all the money. Well, they was making it. They was just wasn't taking it. They was making it, but they was letting Cody and Robin take it. They tax returns would say different. But I see what you're saying. Hey, right. They had to pay their tithes to the Church of Cody. You know, to the point where he had Mary. I can't believe Mary said that. Like, she said it all matter of factly, like the shit was normal. Like, he made me get an accountant and come to the house with the accountant to make sure I was giving up all the money. What? She said that shit like it was normal. That is nothing normal about that. Oh, hell no. That would have been the straw that broke the damn camel's back with me. That's like somebody coming to you asking you for rent money. Hey, yeah, you think I could borrow some rent money? Man, I ain't got that shit. I can't lend you that money. Well, would you mind bringing an accountant over to prove to me that you don't have the money to lend me? Excuse me? Excuse me? There's no way. That is crazy. Let's say longtime watchers are pissed. New watchers seem to have the same opinion. Yeah. I think new watchers are actually people who are cursorily familiar with the show and maybe didn't dig into it because they just couldn't tolerate or stomach the deception, the early deception. Because, you know, I talked to my wife about sometimes with stuff I'm going to cover on the show or, you know, things that happen or whatever. And, you know, she's even said historically, like she has the same position I had, where when I first heard about the show, I was like, oh, they bullshit. This ain't no way in the world this is working. Like they talking about it's working. It's not, you know, it's not a thing. It's like, what? And she said the same thing. She actually said it today. I always knew that shit was going to fail. And I think that that's kind of where people were when they were first watching it. And they suspended, like there were a group of people who did suspend that up until the time the cracks started showing. And at which time the fire was reignited. And they said, you know what? Yeah, this just like I always knew. This shit was not, this did not appear to be what it appeared to be. This is not what it appeared to be from the beginning, you know. And the new people, I think they were always kind of like, yeah, I told you this shit was bullshit. But now let me catch up with it because it seems like they're starting to tell the truth now. So I think that might be the only distinction I would make. What is this? Mary and Jen sometimes get crap for Jen speaking on her behalf. Aren't we pretty much doing the same thing defending these people online? That's true. Actually, I said something similar. The only variant I had to that point, which is pretty basically the same point because I agree with it, is that when unironically, when Mary and Jen were doing their video, and they said people don't know us and they think they know us because they see us on a show, but they only spend a little bit of time with us and they don't really know the situation. It really struck me because this is something that Jen was saying, and I've heard Mary say it before. And what struck me was she said it in the same way, phrasing, the same tone and temperament as when Cody was talking about Jen. And he said, Jen doesn't know me. I don't sit there and talk in front of Jen or talk to Jen. And in general, oh no, he does talk in front of me, and I was always there. You are always there with Mary. So you got one side of a conversation. That's not necessarily you having a full picture and a full understanding. So you're in closer proximity to the rest of us, but you would also have the same limitations that we have because I don't see Cody being a person, being Mr. McNasty in front of strangers, especially people like Jen, and saying things to Mary when he could just pull her aside and say all the nasty shit he wants to behind closed doors, especially if he doesn't like Jen or he doesn't really know Jen. Right? Well, I know him. Jen might know Cody, but that doesn't mean Cody knows Jen. You understand what I mean? Or he's really interested in getting to know Jen. That's what I'm saying by know Jen. He might be able to pick her out in a store, but that doesn't mean that he's sitting there actually talking in front of her or talking about it. So she defends Mary. And even then, like sometimes she'll defend Mary, and then Mary will kind of shut her down because, well, you don't know and you don't understand and this, that, and other. So, yeah, we're kind of in the same boat. And that's why I say don't put yourself in a situation where you're ready to go to jail for somebody because, as crazy as it is, you do something to Cody and Robin for Mary, Jen, and Christine. I'm willing to bet a dime to donuts that they will be the ones sitting up in court testifying against your ass. Talking about what a good man Cody is, and they don't understand why you so crazy. I was defending you. I never asked you to. This is a TV show. You don't know everything. You don't know me. So, but yeah, back to like parasocial loyalty. I mean, there is a phenomenon, like I said, where you've invested a whole lot of time and years into a person and their story. Your objectivity could have been lost. And in that, are we defending actions or defending our long held opinions of people? So we're not necessarily defending what they did. We're just defending them because it doesn't matter what they did because we're okay with them. So we're okay with what they did. And I think that that's a kind of a thing. And we have, of course, rewriting the story. I've seen this a few times, but once we pick heroes and villains, everything kind of gets filtered through that lens. So do we reinterpret new information to fit what we already believe? Like, for instance, I guess I keep going to the backdoor deal because that's the most obvious one and the most recent one. But when the backdoor deal happened, how many of us were sitting there like trying to defend Cody and Robin and Mary, like, oh, well, you don't understand what was going on. And Janelle during the thing, because I've had people say, Janelle never said that. She wasn't part of the backdoor deal. This is something Cody and Robin came up with. Janelle said when she was sitting there talking to Suki during a one-on-one, she said, I met with my attorney. My attorney said this deal might fall through. You need to do something because we're going to lose this buyer. At which time Janelle said out of her mouth, she went to Cody and had the conversation with him about a potential, like, just selling the land, just selling land, get rid of it to expedite things. And then Cody started terming it the backdoor deal. Like, he put the moniker the backdoor deal onto it. And it makes it, and by that description, granted, it makes it sound a lot more sinister. But I've, like, even to this day, like, I'll have conversations about it, and there'll still be people who will say, no, 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 no. Janelle didn't know nothing about it. That's something that was discussed between Cody and Robin, and I don't care. Even though Janelle admitted her part to it. Right? It's the changing of facts. It's the changing of of the story. Like, we're rewriting the story to fit the narrative that Janelle is this person and she would never do something like this. How many times have we had this conversation about the backdoor deal, and somebody says something to the effect of, yeah, but Janelle's the one that told Mary to go get the lawyer in the first place. Why would she do that if she was planning on screwing her over? My response to that is that she wasn't planning on screwing Mary over in the first place, but Janelle also needed an ally to fight against Cody and Robin, somebody to ride with her. So if she goes to Mary, and especially if she doesn't want to foot a legal bill by herself, she goes to Mary, gets Mary to hire an attorney. Her attorney, Mary's attorney, can file some of that paperwork, which takes some of the legal and financial burden off of Janelle. Because at that point, her lawyer isn't drafting a lot of the motions. They aren't drafting all the pleadings. If anything, it puts them in a position where they're now responding to pleadings, or they're adding on to pleadings, or they're supporting pleadings, which is a different financial situation when you do the breakdown of the money. So she very well may have told Mary to go get a lawyer, not because she's saying we need to protect ourselves, but you need to get a lawyer because I need you to proactively go after Cody so that we can get this done. And that's not saying that she's outright going to betray Mary or whatever, but there's strategy there. There is a logical strategy there. Good, bad, or indifferent. It is what it is. There's a strategy there. But I've seen where people will say, well, that proves that now we got to take it off the table and no longer discuss it. And then sweet tea talks. Sweetie talks. Janelle was definitely down with it. She was trying to get the deal done, and I don't blame her. Yeah, I think that was part of it. Like, I think the big driver, and again, it goes to intention versus impact. The intention was, in best case scenario, I think it could even be fair that Janelle very well may have hoped for a backdoor deal just to get the project done, because the implication isn't, and let's break it down a little bit. Come on, guys, let's put on the thinking caps. Break it down a little bit. Even if we say Janelle was down for the backdoor deal, she presented it, that does not in and of itself mean that Janelle was down to steal all the money from Mary and deny Mary any equity in the land. Janelle could have been naive and thought that, okay, we'll sell the land out from under Mary and Robin, get the deal done, then we'll just divide it 4 ways and everybody can go on their way. Everybody can take their little chunk and go, because we got the deal done. We have a buyer. Everybody's excited about the buyer. There's some talk of like, maybe we shouldn't, hemming and hawing. Let's just get the shit done so we can all separate and go our own separate ways. That could have been Janelle's intention with a backdoor deal. But because of the way Cody framed it, and this is one of the things that I keep saying and I keep referring back to about them being able to stick up and stand up for themselves and say things that they need to say for themselves. Because Cody is allowed, they keep quiet. Janelle, Mary, Christine, all of them keep quiet. And because Cody and Robin get to shape the discussion and the argument, the way they framed it was the backdoor deal was essentially going to be, we are going to take the money from the sale of Cowdy Pass and deny Mary her portion of that sale. That's the way they defined it and described it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that. It could very well mean I wanted to do a backdoor deal so that we could get this shit done. We can all get our 25% and we can all hop along happily, walk away and on our own, little missions or whatever. Everybody will be treated fairly, but we just need to be adults and get this shit done. That could have been her mentality too. But just like I sat here and came up with that as a reason as to what she was trying to do and maybe the impact of what it meant, the reality of it is that if you would have gave Cody permission to sell the land out from underneath Mary and he thought he could get away with it and then everything was financially set, I think that Cody would have taken that backdoor deal and flipped it and manipulated it so that he could take the money. And he could do what everybody thinks that Janelle was trying to do. But I'm not necessarily giving Janelle that, assigning Janelle that blame. And that goes to my question. Is that fair? Am I being fair? Because I'm willing to say that Cody was willing to steal the money and basically give Mary 1/3 of 1/4 of the property. So she gets exactly 1/3 of Cowdy Pass, which would, I think through my previous assessment, it was like around $54,000 worth of money once they got the money back. That doesn't mean Janelle was saying that Mary should only got 54. And is that what Mary's talking about? You guys don't understand everything that was going on. You don't know the whole story. You put things and you jump to all kinds of conclusions. And again, like I said before, part of the reason why people jump to the conclusions they do is because you don't fill in the gaps. Because I came up with that. That's a theory I just came up with. But you need to say that shit. You need to say it out of your mouth. Instead of it coming from me, and again, this is me, a YouTuber, defending the OG3. And I guess to a point, that's my point. It's not really fair because I'm defending the OG3. I'm taking up the mantle of saying that they probably didn't mean it the way everybody's assuming that they meant it. Except for when they talk about Cody and Robin. So they watch. Miss Ohm said there was no backdoor deal. Fabrication of coder and herpes heifer. Well, no backdoor deal happened because a backdoor deal couldn't happen. But just because they couldn't make it happen doesn't mean that there wasn't an attempt and a conversation. What do you think about that, Miss Ohm? Let me know. You said because if there was a conversation, and I'll retort with this, and let me know what you think. Just put your response in the chat. Let me know what you think. If this was a complete fabrication and it absolutely positively never happened, it was never a conversation that occurred, why didn't Janelle ever say that? Why didn't she come out and say, what are you talking about? I never said that shit. She talked about the backdoor deal several times. Janelle talked about it. If it's something like if somebody said, yeah, James was planning on robbing this dude, knocking over a 7-Eleven, and we was talking about it, but he decided not to do it because he couldn't get home to get his Roscoe, then I'm going to be the first person like that conversation never, ever, never, ever, never happened. Never ever did that conversation happen. Not with me, nobody else. You can cut that shit off. I never said nothing like that. Right? But we didn't hear that from her ever. Ever. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Uh what was this? See, Miss Monica, the empty nester. See, you better. she said, she said, since they keep going back to the catfish, why don't someone bring up the Christmas text on Robin? Hey, yeah, we all talk about old shit. Why don't we talk about some old shit? But actually, the Christmas texts are far more recent than the catfish ever was. The catfish was almost 10 years ago. That was a decade. You know what I mean? The catfish, if it was a person, it'd be hitting puberty. It'd be right around the corner from puberty. So what are we doing? Robin will be like, we ain't talking about that because that'll make me look bad. um, and I guess even with that, like, because we could talk about like the backdoor deal, the catfish stuff, and rightness and wrongness, but if something were to happen, what would it take for us to change our mind? What would we have to hear? And that's where, like, that's where we have to start being honest with ourselves. What would it take for us to look at the OG3 and say, yeah, they're not the people that we thought they were? Right? What would it take for us to look at Robin and Cody and say, whoa, we totally had them wrong? A miracle on 52nd Street is what it'll take. But what would it take for us to look at Robin and Cody and be like, we totally had it wrong? That, he's a caring ass man. He's a good father and husband. It's just misunderstood. You know. I don't think all the editing in the world of retelling stories would help. I just don't think. I don't know, man. He changed their mind about Robin and Cody. I think that's a lost cause. Sometimes you just got to eat it. Sucker said, James, they don't make drugs good enough to make me change my mind about the gruesome twosome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a like they just gonna have to eat the L. Like, I think they just at this point, I just think they gotta eat the L. Like, it's just, it is what it is. Yeah. Oh, herpes heifer is that's kind of baller. I ain't gonna front. That shit is funny. What is this? Vixen. Hey, Vixen, how you doing? My idea, James, is that Janelle had her own ideas about the about this, and she's fed up with Cody and his BS, and she didn't want to see Mary get screwed over, and what they're saying about going behind Mary's back and all that. Yeah, I mean, because again, I think that there's a space where you could make the argument that Janelle was afraid that they were going to lose the buyer. And she went to Cody to find out what they could do to ensure that they will be able to sell the land and evenly distribute the proceeds from the sale. That technically, that's fair. Like, that is a fair assessment. That's fair. Everybody wants to sell the land. I don't want to have the land. Mary don't want to have the land. Christine don't want to have the land. Janelle don't want to have the land. Cody and Robin don't want the land. Robin says she want the land, but she don't want the land. She want the money. Cool. Let's get this shit done. That y'all don't want to have to deal with us. I don't want to have to deal with y'all. Let's get it done. Be done with it. And we move on. And whoever I have to work with to get this shit done, let's get it done. That technically would be a backdoor deal. That would be a backdoor deal. But it doesn't mean that description I just gave doesn't mean that I'm trying to, or if I'm Janelle, if I'm in that case trying to do it, I'm trying to screw over one of my partners. I fully intend to give them their fair share. I fully want them to have everything that they have coming to them. I just want to get the deal done. And I want to facilitate getting it done. That doesn't mean that I'm trying to screw them over. And again, this goes to them needing to stand up, not stop relying as much as they criticize. And I'm going to take some of that personal. As much as they sit there and they try to criticize YouTubers, not just me, but other YouTubers as well. They got it wrong. They be analyzing shit and they get the points all mixed up and they wind up in a place like, no. As much as y'all say that shit, it's on you. Stop depending on us to defend your asses. You come out your mouth and defend you. Like even here, I didn't see where she responded back. But even here, like the person I referred to earlier, where they were saying that Janelle didn't do this, it was a fabrication from Cody and Robin. I want Janelle to come out and say that shit. I respect the fact that the viewer has the opinion that they have. I respect that. I respect that opinion. I do. But I want to hear that shit come out of Janelle's mouth. I want to hear the people who are involved say that, no, this isn't what I do. They're relying on us to do it. And this opens the door when we talk about parasocial relationships. This opens the door where, because we feel like you are unable to defend yourself, you are inept to defend yourself, we feel like we need to defend you. That's when boundaries start getting crossed. That's where lines start getting crossed. That's where people feel like they have a certain responsibility to you because you can't take care of yourself. You can't do it for you, so I'm going to do it for you. And that's how problems start. And that's all I'm saying. Like, when we talk about being fair, part of being fair is they have to start defending themselves instead of relying on us to interpret and try to come up with the best case scenario to make them look good. You tell me why you're not responsible. Because I'm saying, like I've said this before as an example, and some people may disagree with it, but when Cody had said that they're talking about the family fund in season 18 or season 19, and the family fund is coming up short, and Cody was talking about the family fund coming up short. Well, Janelle was controlling the money. She had control of the family account. In fact, when she left, I realized that she wasn't paying certain bills. Bills weren't getting paid. So he never addressed the fact that money was coming up short. He just said, in addition to money coming up short, I also noticed that some of the bills that were supposed to be paid with the family fund, which probably weren't, but some of the bills that were supposed to be paid with the family fund weren't getting paid. So if the money is coming up short and bills that are supposed to be getting paid aren't getting paid, that means that they're stealing way more money than we thought before. And he pointed at Janelle. And Janelle playing the shy coy girl. No. No, that's no. I was just a bookkeeper. No, forget all that bookkeeping bullshit. I didn't steal $0. I stole $0. Cody and Robin were controlling the money. They were taking money from the account. I saw where they were taking money from the account. I approached them about them taking money from the account. The account had been coming up short, and I've been telling them the account was coming up short. That's the level of responses that I want to hear from them. That's the level of responses. That's not, oh, you just want to see a fight. No, I want to see you defend yourself. Don't never let somebody sit there and call you a thief. Don't never that is not okay. Well, I don't want to cause no problems. It's already a problem. It's already a problem. And that's just like, that's where I'm at. So I want them to start defending themselves. I want them to start filling in the gaps. I want them to start saying what it is. You don't like the way we are filling in the gaps? We're bridging the gaps between the information that you leave out because we have to make it make sense. Because that's the other part of it. They act like they're telling like fact 1, fact 2, fact 3, maybe leaving out fact 2. So they're on fact 1, fact 3, fact 4, fact 5. And then all of a sudden we're going fact 1, XYZ, fact 2, ABC, facts 3, square circle triangle. Like that's the way they pretending that the content creators are doing. We're trying to make the shit that you say make sense. Backdoor deal doesn't make sense because I know, and anybody who's ever had or held property understands that you can't, especially with somebody else. I can't take my house and you know what? I'm going to leave my wife, my new girl. I'm going to sell my house out from underneath her without her knowledge or permission. That shit is not, that's going nowhere. When I say nowhere, it's going nowhere. That sale is not happening. Because her name is on every damn thing. So I have to get her to agree to the bullshit. In which case, it might be some slow singing and fire bringing. They be in the damn church singing, "Oh, daddy boy." You know what I'm saying? They be there with some bagpipes and shit. Like, there ain't no way in the world it's going off like that. Backdoor deal. That's not a thing. So we had to make the shit make sense. The catfish, we had to make the shit make sense. Because you want to half-ass tell the story, and then you want to sit there and be mad about how the story gets told because you didn't want to tell us all the stuff. Sharon, I think Janelle was trying to get some forward motion. I don't think she wanted to cheat Mary. I think she thought Cody did something. Mary's attorney would jump all over it and movement would happen. Backdoor deal, though. But you're right. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's exactly what I'm saying, Sharon. 100%. That's a backdoor deal, though. Right? But if you let people, and this is my whole thing, this is what drives me crazy. If you let people define and frame the discussion, you're no longer in charge of the narrative. Now, Janelle is having a conversation the way that Cody and Robin want her to have the conversation. Especially because, and even us, when we're having a conversation, even here in the chat, we're having a conversation based on the parameters that Cody and Robin set. If I say that Janelle was doing a backdoor deal, it could be in complete compliance with what Sharon is saying right here. She just was trying to get some forward motion because she was trying to get it done. Because when we look at it, how long have they been trying to actively sell this property? They've been riding Cody's ass for years to sell this property. It's not like a one weekend thing where just Janelle had a wild hair up her ass and said, you know what, I want to sell Coyote Pass because I want to get some cocoa and some marshmallows and make some s'mores. Like, that's not what happened. She had been actively trying, between her and Mary, they've been actively trying to get this money from Coyote Pass for years. And Cody refused to talk to them. Cody refused to respond to them. Cody didn't start talking to them until they hired attorneys, and he wasn't serious about selling Coyote Pass until him and Robin decided they wanted to move and buy another house. So it's completely reasonable that Janelle would try to get some forward motion. And she might, and through that attempt to get forward motion, she might pursue what some would note as a backdoor deal. But that doesn't mean she was trying to rip Mary off. That's what Cody said. Because that's what, and let's see, here's the other part of it. I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do this. That's the shit that I be talking about. Because if we look at it, Cody very well may say the backdoor deal meant we gonna rip Mary off. Why did he interpret it that way? Because that's what he was planning on doing. That's what he was planning on doing. We gonna rip Mary's ass off. Because that's what I'm gonna do. So when he talk about backdoor deal, that's what he means. And maybe he just, nobody better than me, and I'm better than nobody else. So because I was planning on ripping off Mary, clearly Janelle was planning on doing it too. But Janelle very well may never had the instinct to try to do it to Mary. And maybe that's why Mary is sitting up here still defending Janelle and still talking and dealing with Janelle. Just saying. Yeah, Janelle did lose just a small town girl. Janelle did lose a lot of money over the years. And, Sweet Tea Talk said, not this YouTuber, I tell it straight. Like, I'm just saying. Marla, Robin needs speech therapy. Yeah, I just, and again, I'm not trying to encourage people to just smash and attack the OG3 because it's chic now, but I just want to make sure that we're coming at it in a fair and balanced way. That if we're going to call it, let's call us balls and strikes. Not necessarily like you might favor a team. I'm sure like there are referees and umpires and, people, officiants of various sports that might have a favorite, might even have an idol, like somebody they idolize playing. But your job isn't just to cheerlead those people. It's also to be fair arbiters of the games or the situations that we're watching. The next thing I guess I wanted to talk about was like the hypothetical. Like let's talk about a little hypothetical. If Janelle did this, and I know, I guess it might even seem like I'm picking on Janelle. If Christine did this, right? Well, we call it manipulation, right? If Robin does it, we would hands down be like, yeah, she's manipulating. That manipulating mother. No problem. No fuss, no muss, no hesitation. One of the other wives do it. Gotta get the backup. We need the backup tapes, right? With, like I said, the backdoor deal, because that's something that was popping off. When it was Janelle, it was survival, and she was trying to survive. Robin do it, it's manipulation. Cody do it, it's manipulation. And I guess the easy question would be, why do we see it that way? Part of it too is just, the easy answer, I think, of why I might give Janelle a little more benefit of the doubt than I give Robin is because of, one, the way they're portrayed on the show. And then two, just the way things are done, right? Because everybody loves reacting to like that type of situation where like we call them out, like gotcha, gotcha, and vanquishing the evildoers. But when it's somebody that we care about or somebody we like, it's easier. We don't want to retreat on like our initial feelings of people. Everybody likes to feel like they're right? And you don't want to feel like you're somehow missing something or messing up because of the way you're calling it. Yeah, Megan said they seem to be fine with getting screwed over. If they like it, I love it. Yeah, Jody said I didn't like how he divided the property. I'm in agreement with that. I don't think that I don't like Cody's he belays payment. So he'll do a thing where like he tried to do with Christine with the sale of her house. You sell your house, you give me all the money from the sale of your house. I'll pay off County Pass and I'll catch up with you later. But he doesn't hammer out exactly what that would look like. And by the time they get finished, like he's so pressed about getting the money and talking to him about you give me the money and I'm gonna give you your money back. But he never gets specific about like how much money he's gonna get back. And he certainly isn't at a point or perspective, in my opinion, where I think he actually would write shit down. And it's crazy to me because if this is like a long history of people asking or requesting folks to fill out and sign NDAs, asking them to sign other legal documents like a settlement of financial claims, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, between like family members and people you're supposed to be working with. I don't understand why you wouldn't have this drawn up into a contract. If I sell my property, if you're Christine, I sell my home, you take the proceeds from my home and you invest it into Coyote Pass. Once that happens, I sell my home. My stake in Coyote Pass should significantly rise. Significantly rise. Because now I'm paying, if I'm selling off Coyote Pass or I'm paying off Coyote Pass with the sale of my home, then I don't just deserve the little 25% you trying to give me. I deserve a lot more money than that. And then the money that he already owes Mary and Janelle, what about that money? Like Cody and Robin, technically, in my opinion, they should have walked away from the Coyote Pass sale with nothing. They should have taken their names completely off of Coyote Pass. Based off the information that we have, they should have taken their names completely off of Coyote Pass and allowed Mary, Christine, and Janelle to have the entirety of that sale. Because especially in light of the fact that they also bought a comparable property in the form of the McMansion. Especially, and this is something that nobody talks about. They kind of mentioned it, and I want clarification on it, that they were using the family funds to pay for the mortgage on the McMansion. It was implied that that's what they were doing. So if you're using family funds to pay for the McMansion, then you can't even claim that you're using your money to pay for the McMansion. And is that why it was so important that you're making sure you're getting the just due off of the wives, because you had to make sure your mortgage got paid? Especially when you have at least 2 of your 4 wives don't have mortgages. Like, what are we doing? I'm just so I don't know. I don't want to get into a bash fest for Cody and them, but I'm just saying, like, bruh, I don't think it's fair either. It was just what we know. And again, if I have it wrong, because I'm misreading the tea leaves or whatever the hell, come out and tell me I'm wrong and tell me why I'm wrong. Um, And another part of that is what I don't like. In addition to that, is matter of fact, I'm gonna write that part down. I'm gonna write it down and I'll say it at the end. Yeah. Uh so I guess if we move along, we move right along. Where should accountability live? I guess ultimately that's the last question for this little block I have. Where should accountability live? Accountability live. Uh is uh is criticism us talking about like the OG3? Is that betrayal? Are we messing up? Are we making mistakes? Are we doing something wrong by criticizing them or taking a look at what they did, what they don't do, and how they're doing it? And I guess the bigger question, even with that, is that can you support someone and still call them out? Can you, and even in that, like, what does healthy support even look like? What does that entail? Like and I'll give you guys an opportunity. Was this notes itself has said that Cody believes he is the family and therefore entitled to control of all the family fund. You know what? That's funny too, because I no shade on notes to self, but I said that shit like 4 years ago. When he talked about the family in the big picture, remember Cody used to say that shit. See, you're not thinking about the big picture. I gotta think about the big picture. Cody is the big picture. Cody is the family. So the family fund is his fund. All money that comes through the family is his money. I agree with it, and I mean they're closer tied to them. They know Mary, I think, from what I understand. But yeah, 100%. I've been saying that shit for years. That Cody is looking at himself. It's all about Cody, and like it or not, I mean, and I might catch some heat for this, but at the end of the day, that's what the fuck they signed up for. That's what the wives signed up for. Like y'all signed up for this. Like that's the part that's kind of, you know, crazy to me. Like cause it's always like, and that's what I was saying. Like this whole thing. Oh, Cody is different now because he got Robin. Oh, he's different. Was he different when he had he had 12 kids, right? He had 12 kids and he had a convertible car. He had as his main means of transportation. He had 12 kids and he had a motorcycle as his secondary means of transportation. And I say 12 kids. James, he had 13 kids with OG3. He had 13 kids because he got Christine pregnant after Robin came into the family. Truly didn't come until Robin was already in the family for almost a year. He had that car and he had that motorcycle long before Robin came into the family. This is who the dude always was. And it just becomes more poignant. It becomes more noticeable because he now has the finances to live the life and be the person that he's always wanted to be and who he always was. The guy who has, like, if something were to happen to his kids, like his wives go out and Christine, Mary, and Janelle are out. You know, Mary had like, I think, a 4-seater car. Janelle had a 4-seater car and Christine had the truck. Christine would have took that Tahoe and that Tahoe, that's my wife. She took the Tahoe out and it would have broke down. Right? Cody would have no way to get them kids other than to go with the other wives, like run a caravan to pick up his kids. or borrow one of their cars. They got to lap it up in one of the other wives' cars because he had no way of taking his family out to do things for that he wanted to do because it never was about the family because the family was him and he was the family. And Brittany, not Brittany, what's up, girl? Said exactly. It's up to the cast to tell us what's what. We shouldn't have to guess, and that's it. Like this is the only product. Like this is like going to a IKEA and buy some assemble yourself furniture, and you get the shit home and you realize parts are missing. If you did that, what would happen? You bought a desk from IKEA, you get it home, and you realize one of the legs is missing. What are you going to do with that desk? You going to go out and try to cut a tree down and go to the Home Depot and, cleave out a leg? Or you going to take that shit back? Because it's incomplete. It's an incomplete project or product. It's defective. And that's what we have in TLC's programming. It's defective. Like you're missing major parts. And then you want to complain because we making it happen. We making it work. I'm just saying, for folks. I don't know how y'all roll. That's how I roll. If I buy some shit and I get at home, and I'm like, hey, wait a damn minute. Y'all not saving parts on me, like saving money on parts for me. And I gotta go let me get on Amazon, see if I can get a replacement desktop because it wasn't included, because would be expensive. No, that shit going back. Got my receipt on lock. I'm predicting this right back. But we do that with TLC. And then they have the audacity that, like I said, that'd be the equivalent of you getting to the IKEA, you take the shit back, and then, or the table wobbly as hell. You call IKEA and say, yo, my table wobbly as hell. I've tried to put a table leg on it. Oh, that's because you put the wrong leg on it. You didn't put the official leg on it. The official leg wasn't included in the box. I know, but you just took it upon yourself. Like, what are we talking about? Mary's the worst with not being forthcoming. We can't ever get a straight answer out of her or Robin. Yeah, they said it. Even Suki said that Mary's a hard interview. Like she's the hardest interview out of all of them. I guess at the end of the day, it's easier to deal with a liar than it is to somebody who either talk in circles or just won't say anything. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Like my thing is like, where should accountability live? And is our criticism betrayal? And is our criticism bullying? Because I feel like because Janelle got some heat, because again, she got it. It's not, look, I like to think that, I got the power of the microphone and I be talking that good shit. At the end of the day, I am not enough. I do not sway people one way or another. I don't make people like or hate Janelle. Right. And I'm not strong enough to explain Janelle's actions. Janelle has to come out and explain what happened with the backdoor deal or the other stuff that she had going on, how she came into the family. And she got to say that shit with her whole chest. It's not enough for me to get up there and do it. Or Sarah or, Amanda Ray or Amanda, our Amanda. It's not enough. Pop Psych, anybody, even Katie Joy. It's not enough. Like they have to come out and be honest about what's going on in their situations to let people know what's going on. They get booked for these interviews. They give interviews, and you don't take the opportunity to clear up anything that's been discussed on the show, issues around the show, things that are going on with you, things that aren't going on with you. You don't take those opportunities, then what are we doing? And me seeing you do the wrong thing or seeing you do something that I don't agree with or I think is wrong is not me bullying you if I say something. That's not bullying. Because again, if you think that's bullying, you don't have any idea what bullying is. You don't. And if you take criticism, everything you do, I have to be on board with. How many times have we sat here and criticized Cody and his friends when he's talking to his friends or his brothers about the bullshit that he planned on doing to the wives or put the wives through? And the brother or the friends don't say shit. Or they sit there, sometimes you gotta go over to the other wife house, because the hoes be tripping. Like, the guys don't say shit. We're not sitting here saying, yeah, those guys are loyal. That's what loyalty look like, son. No, you say those guys are assholes too. Because if you his real friend, you'll try to help him save his marriages. Bro, my only question is, do you like being married? Like with my previous example. Like I go out with my friends messing up. Bro, my only question I got for you is, do you like being married? Because what you're doing now is going to get you divorced. You will get divorced. And I'm gonna let you know now, you get divorced, you are not staying in my house. So make sure you got plans. We buddies and all, but nope, I ain't moving you in there with my crib. Because especially if you cheat on your wife, there ain't no reason why I'm gonna move you in there with mine. No, thank you. So I'm just saying, and I think, even to the question I asked, can you support someone and still call them out? Absolutely. To me, that is a form of you supporting them. I say that to my kids all day. Like, I'll support you guys to the cows come home, and of the people that are on my list of people I go to jail for, my kids are definitely on it, right? Believe that shit. My kids is now number one with a bullet. For sure. I mean, who I'll be willing to go to jail for. But if they do the wrong thing, then I'm going to tell them they did the wrong thing. If they're not acting appropriately or they're acting out of pocket, I'm going to pull them aside and pull their asses up and let them know that, because that's my means of support. That's me supporting them. That's me having your back. If you come to me with some shit and it's, oh, dad, I'm going to buy this house. I'm going to go buy this car. I got some money together. Well, son, daughter, okay, you plan on doing that. That sounds ambitious. That sounds cool. What happens? Okay, fine. You got the down payment. How you going to make the monthly mortgage payment, son, daughter? Well, the monthly mortgage payment going to be $950. How much do you make a month? $1,500 before taxes. Boo, you don't make enough. See, that's me supporting you. That's not me being a hater. Oh, you just a hater. You a hater. Tired of your hateration. You're not supporting me because I'm not going along with the bullshit. Because I don't want to see you put your money somewhere where somebody going to take not only the money, but they're going to take your house. And they're going to, that's me. If I go along with it, that's me setting you up. That I would say that I'm the antithesis of being your greatest supporter or being your friend or being your father. If I go along with bullshit, I'm not supporting you. I'm in line to destroy you. I'm helping to destroy you. And so if I sat here and pretended like everything that, no matter what Janelle, Christine, and Mary do, it's all good and it's all gravy, I'm setting them up. I'm setting them up. I remember one time I was talking to somebody and I was over with my friend talking with their daughter, and they were having problems with their boyfriend. The boyfriend was living with them. And I'm tired of his ass. I'm going to go to his bank. I got his bank card. I'm going to go to his bank and I'm going to empty out his money and I'm going to bust all the windows out of his car and flatten his tires. I'm gonna throw all this shit out in the street. And I said, you know what? That shit sound good in a movie. But you do that shit. Understand this. One, your name isn't on his account. You take money out of that account, your ass going to jail. I'm sorry, you ain't going to jail. That's a lie. You ain't going to jail. You're going to prison. Okay, you're going to prison. Secondly, you destroy his personal property, he's going to sue you. So anything you have, your stuff, becomes his stuff. Big bank, take little bank. All day. All damn day. Now, again, that shit sound good in the movie. If it was Tyler Perry, all day. You do that shit all day. Do you have Medea here, some big ass dude running around with a dress and a wig on with a pistola, talking about you do what you gotta do over her, girl, over her, and everybody be laughing and giggling their ass off. In real life, you're going to prison, and he's going to sue the shit out of you. Understand that you're going to replace everything you destroyed. So you just being a hater. No, this is me supporting you. What should I do? If you don't like what he's doing, leave. Leave his ass. That's what you do. You don't put yourself in a situation where he can hurt you and damage you further. He already did something to break your heart, make you mad, make you upset. He already did what he did. And you giving him the license, and more to the point, the yoke to control your life and the trajectory of your life. Because now he's really in charge. Because he's deciding whether he's going to press charges. He's deciding whether he's going to go down to the bank and report that theft. And it's up to him. Your life is in his hands now. See, that my way is support. That's me supporting you. Oh, but you being negative. You being a hater. No, that's me being supportive. So you can criticize people and have opinions about things they do and give them advice which they might not want to hear, and it still be supportive. Like I said, some shit look good in the movies, but when you play it in real life, it gets gritty. Let me just check something real quick. Pete said, that's why Medea is so funny. She does what we wish we could do in court. When told the judge she beat the children. Yeah. You know what I mean? She got plot armor. She ain't nothing. Medea ain't going to jail unless it's Medea goes to jail. You know what I mean? You know, she pull Roscoe's out, be shooting hot lady folks. No problems. Just saying. But I think that, like I said, I think that, you know, it's almost like it was a spare the rod, spoil the child. It's not so much like a license for you to jack your kid up, but it's just if you don't teach your kids, like, because I've always had the principle, and I apologize if it just seems like I'm trying to, you know, make it seem like I have a parent-child relationship with these women, which I don't. But I'm just saying, like, just basic understanding of it. My foundation of it is that when I would talk to my kids, I would always explain, like, I might say something or do something that you don't like, that right now you don't like because it's inconvenient, or maybe you had your heart set on doing a thing and I'm standing away from you doing it. And you mad about that. But please understand a couple things. One, when you walk out of that door, the people that you deal with aren't going to have the same patience and desire to understand you that I have. They're not going to give you the same patient answer, patient response. Oh, you explained to me. What were you thinking? Tell me what your intent was. Oh, you didn't mean that. They're not going to give you that benefit of the doubt. I'm the first and the last stop of you getting that benefit of the doubt. Out there in the world, you don't get that. In addition to that, I'm not trying to tell you, I'm not saying these things because I'm trying to hurt your feelings or trying to keep you from fun. I'm saying these things because This is my way of protecting you, being honest with you. And if I have to hold the line to you, then I have to hold the line because I want the best for you. And when I'm looking at Mary and Janelle, and if I don't do that, then what it does is it creates a false sense of security where you think that your behavior is acceptable. So when you walk out of the door, because mom and dad don't stop you from doing it, you think that when you go outside the door, everything great. You can talk to people, treat people however you want, and everybody just going to bow down like mom and dad do back at home. That's not the case. Update the situation, adultify it. Mary and Janelle, Christine, if they do the wrong thing, we may sit there and look at it, like the stupidity of the backdoor deal, the way Robin and Cody explained it. Sell the land out from underneath Robin and Mary. That's the way Cody explained it. And I've been saying since this shit that was first presented, that shit ain't real. If they did that, you're breaking the law. You're breaking the law. In fact, I honestly think that it could go beyond like a civil infraction. This isn't just something where I'm gonna take you to court and sue you for money. I think you could lose your freedom behind shit like that. Because the only way I can see it happening is if you signing documents and stuff, like forging names and perpetrating a fraud. Like that's serious. Like, so I think that we're not doing any favors if we just sit there and pretend like it's not a big deal. So that's my means of support. But we had some super truth. Let's check it out. We had Brittany Not Brittany with the $4.99 super chat. Said they demand blind loyalty from us while doing nothing each season to deserve it and telling us we're misunderstanding what they refuse to explain. Right. Trust me, bro. Trust me. You guys have liked me and backed me for 20 seasons. Why stop now? Because I don't owe you that. I don't owe you that. I don't owe anybody blind loyalty. You know what I mean? and it's one of those situations too where sometimes I feel like they ask us to put our brains on pause. Stop thinking about shit. Just believe what I tell you. Damn. And again, like I think that we deserve to hear all of it. If you're not going to tell us all of it, don't tell us none of it. And certainly don't complain that we don't understand it and that we have it wrong. But thank you, Brittany Not Brittany. Let me give you a little something. Awesomeness. Thank you. And we have a tie with the $4.99 super chat. A show with a spiritual foundation shouldn't feel this heavily motivated by money. I think you're right. But I think that if you go back and look at it through the lens of just sheer greed and the chase of a dollar, the show itself makes way more sense than it does for I just want the world to understand how we're getting along and how we do things. And we just want to expose polygamy to the world and make it safe for everybody to participate. That makes way less sense as opposed to, I was poor. I wanted to make some dollars. This made sense. Did this, so, but I agree, Ty. Then we have Allison Gaines with the $1.99 super chat. No message, just the love. Appreciate you, Allison Gaines. Appreciate you. Then we had a re-up from Allison Gaines with a did you hear me say re like 4 times? Re-up. 4.99 super chat. Said want to thank James, Mods, and a My Take on Reality family for being the most supportive on YouTube. Give us a safe space to vent, shareables, and even disagree. Oh, thank you so much, Allison. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, again, this is just a pursuit of trying to be fair. And I think respecting everybody's opinions. One of the things I do like about the channel is that I want to create a space where we can debate and discuss ideas and not necessarily disagree with each other. Like, just because one person believes that even if somebody came in, they were like, Cody is an awesome man and Robin's an amazing woman. I want them to feel like they have a space. And I definitely want to talk to them. Like, if you guys ever want to support Cody and Robin and you disagree with something I say, please call in. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from a Cody and Robin fan. Now, bring receipts. I'm not saying just show up to the party, empty-handed. I'm just saying, like, I love to talk to you. But thank you, Allison. Appreciate you. Hopefully everybody's well, Allison. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Hopefully everybody's well. Brittany not Brittany with the $4.99 super chat. I'm supposed to watch you walk off a cliff because telling you there's danger ahead is me being a hater. Oh, okay. Have fun in the ditch, I guess. Like, that's where I'm at. That's how I feel about it. That's exactly perfectly succinctly said. So I'll lay down the entree, and Brittany came in and put the perfect seasoning on it. Because we like our food seasoned. Yeah. Because I don't think that you're a friend. If you see me about to blow my life up and you don't say nothing, you are not my friend. Right? You are not my friend. Dog, I think I'm ready. And you know full well I'm not ready. And there's a once in a lifetime opportunity, bro. You only get one chance at this. I think I'm ready. And you're like, yeah, you're definitely ready. You know full well I'm not ready. Man, take a little time, get yourself together. Hit them hard, You are not my friend. So 100% Brittany. Well, look at you walking off the cliff. You think you're gonna make it? No. You gonna say anything? No, I ain't no hater. I'm a supporter. Thank you, Brittany. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. But well, before we get to my last point, all snaps. I want to make sure that we do something that I like doing here on the channel. Take a few moments to put some hearts in the chat for some folks who have, and again, the hearts in the chat, I want to be very clear. It's just sometimes I come across people and, they might have things going on, or maybe they hit a tough time, or they're trying something new. Could be a change in their life where they just want to feel supported. Because, through the loss of a thing, through a change in life circumstances, all of it can be scary. Life is a very scary proposition. If you ever step back and think about it, whoo, all this shit be white. Like, my beard is starting, but life is horrifying. Because you really think about it, and you aren't insane like me, you would look at it and be like, life is scary as shit, right? And when I do hearts in the chat, is for people who might be experiencing the changes in life, which may be the result of losing loved ones, the change in life where they may be changing careers, the change in life where they might be changing their living circumstances, where they live and trying something new and different. So I want to support folks, and these are people who have come to my attention who wanted to put, uh, just have people support them and maybe keep them in your prayers if you are so religiously inclined. But we have Jody Pirascala, we have Carmel Cuties, Megatron. Megatron, she has been experiencing some stuff. I know she's like a channel favorite, like very popular on the channel. Megatron has been having a rough 26. A lot of stuff going on with her family and things, like she's been experiencing some challenges. But to Megatron's credit, when she comes onto the channel, she's always a bright spot on the channel. She's always very positive. She always has a great attitude. And I think that speaks to volumes about her character, because no matter what's going on in her situation, she doesn't let life drag her down. And I think that that's commendable. And I think that's something that I certainly respect. But I also respect that, sometimes when you spend so much time being strong for everybody else, you need to know that people are supporting you, because in the quietness and in the stillness of when you're alone and you're there by yourself, you need to feel supported too, right? Some of the strongest people in the world, the people who always have your back, and when you have problems and shit, they're always the ones there trying to help you with solutions and things. Those are the people who a lot of times are so busy and so used to putting other people ahead of themselves and their needs, that they very rarely even recognize that they have needs too, and they need to be supported too. So put some hearts in the chat for Megatron. Of course, we have Miss Betty. She was also having some challenges and things. Kathy Ferran, Allison Gaines. Things come up and whatever. And I don't talk too much about people's situations, because I don't feel like it's my place necessary to put it out there. And I don't know. Sometimes things are shared with me, and I'm not sure if those things are shared with me with the express permission to share them with other people, or even the desire to have them shared. They just want, some support, and I want to lend it to them. And of course, we have Marlo Peterson. All right. So we get some hearts in the chat for those folks. So I think that's important, especially like I said, with, sometimes we spend so much time focused on sometimes the weaker of us, that the strong ones go ignored, and I just want to make sure that we recognize everybody. Because again, that's the name of the show today, fairness. We want to be fair. We want to make sure that everybody is getting the attention that they need. And it's kind of that thing too. It's like the best example is a strong person in your life is a lot like a kickstand. Like if you ever ride a motorcycle or a bike, like nobody ever thinks about like, oh man, that's a really nice kickstand on that mother. Did you see the kickstand on that son bitch? Like nobody does that. Like nobody buys a bike because the kickstand is awesome, right? And in fact, in most cases, you don't even pay attention to the kickstand. You just know that when you need it, it's there. And unfortunately, a lot of times you don't realize how important that kickstand is until that some bitch is broke or there's something wrong with it. Gotta lay my shit down because the kickstand is broke. What? It can't hold the weight anymore because it's having its own issues. Then that's like a big problem, And a lot of times the strong people in our lives, the people who support us the most, we treat them like kickstands. They're not a feature on the bike. Nobody gives a shit about them until they're not working no more, or you don't have it anymore. Then all of a sudden it's a big problem. So just want to make sure we keep those folks in mind. This is Vixen. When you're giving kids the straight up from the toe up, like you are, James, that's it, man. Like they don't make enough. They got to know firsthand before they get a real reality check. Yeah, absolutely. And the truth of the matter is that especially, oh, it's Marlo's birthday. Happy birthday, Marlo. Okay. Living that life. Living the best life. All right. But that's kind of the thing. Cause I also see it like this. He said I do like a good kickstand. Awesome. Um the thing is that I will, not just with my kids, my friends, my family, my wife. I give my brother and my dad, I give them my support and I give them the best advice I can give them or observation. I don't even say advice, the observation I can give them or recommendation I can give them simply because I know when it comes from me that I'm doing it from a place of love and from a place where I want the best for them. I'm doing it from a place where I want the best for them. And when we talk about like to Vixen's point, we talk about like the reality check out there in the world do not give you the when they give you the reality check, they give you the hard check, they're not doing it because they care about your feelings and they want you to be successful. You understand what I mean? I do it because I want you to be successful. I want you to have the best life possible. Uh who's Trini? Yeah, I just, what? I was watching a live, the sound went out, and 2 minutes later, it said content not available at this channel has been removed. That's my channel? Uh-oh. Am I talking to myself? Maybe Cody and them filed that complaint with the tube. James must be stopped. All right, so I had one more point I wanted to make, then I'll let you guys go. I was talking about Mary's like Mary's manipulation. I don't know, one second. Yeah, because I kind of see it as a form of manipulation. When you're telling us that you put out a show, and it's not just Mary, it's not fair to just say Mary, but the Browns in general. You put out a show, you say that the show is depicting who you are in real life and what you see is what you get, et cetera, et cetera. Then when you get praise from that, be like, that's who I am. That's me, yo. You know what it is. No time it is. But the second you start getting criticized, maybe for something you did on the show, all of a sudden, y'all don't know me. Y'all don't understand who I am. You don't know nothing about me. I don't know why y'all tripping. You don't get the whole story. Then you can come out and you can, straighten up or fill in a lot of the blanks or correct our misconceptions, but you refuse to do it. But then at the same time, you continually ask us to continue watching the show. And I think that becomes a complication for a lot of folks. And that's why part of the reason why I have these discussions about, again, I'm not picking on the wives, I'm not picking on Cody. I'm not trying to make, uh I'm not asking folks to stop supporting or liking the OG3. And I'm certainly not asking people to start supporting Robin and Cody. I'm simply asking, do the rules stay the same depending on who we talk about? And one of the dangers of you know what? I have this saying I used to say all the time. Uh Loved it, loved it, loved it. Comes from a film with Nicolas Cage and Joaquin Phoenix is in it. It's a movie called 8 Millimeter. Do not watch it if you have sensitivities. If you're a sensitive person, do not watch that film at all. It will mess you up. But there's a line in it where Joaquin Phoenix, they have to delve into the underworld of like traffic and trafficking. It's very dark. It's a very dark film. Um, but Joaquin Phoenix, who is kind of guiding Nicolas Cage's character through this underbelly of this horrible world of traffic. He says to Nicolas Cage, when you dance with the devil, you don't change the devil changes you. And when I think about like reality shows and the impact that they have, part of where my concern comes in is that when you dance with this devil, right, and we start making excuses and we start, doing a sliding scale of principles and standards and rules and what's acceptable, what's not, morality, and it just becomes a sliding scale depending on who's doing it and who's getting the best of it and who's getting the worst of it, who's winning and who's losing. And that's how we make determinations on what's good versus what's bad, what's right versus what's wrong. We are dancing with the devil. And soon we are starting to change. We're changing our principles. We're changing our values because we're trying to make them work for people who aren't displaying those same principles and values because we like them. This is one of the dangers, like when they talk about like mind control, the power of like the microphone when it comes to entertainment. Why are in some cases, why are politicians or why are comedians or singers or athletes sometimes more influential on public policy than politicians? Why, I don't think it's right that we hold politicians or comedians and entertainers to a higher moral standard than we hold our politicians. But there is a stream of thought that recognizes that these people can sometimes wield stronger sway over people's thoughts and positions than even some of the most well-trained politicians, because you like that person, that singer, that dancer, that comedian, and you like what they talk about and what they say. So when they say, I believe blah, 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 there's a possibility you give blah, blah, blah more of a chance than you would if a politician came out and said, I believe blah, blah, blah. Why? Because you always kind of raised to not trust politicians. But your guard comes down when you listen to music, when you listen to songs, when you're listening to comedy shows. So, like, same. When we're watching Sister Wives and we see certain questionable things and we try to make excuses for those questionable things, or we diminish the importance of those questionable things or the impact of those questionable things because we like the person that does the questionable thing, then that's us changing. That's us, that's why I was talking about like the fairness of it all, Uh I don't know. Like, it's not even so much I'm terrified Sister Wives gonna change the world and make us all evil. Like that, I think that's overplayed. But I do think that like we just gotta be, I just want to this is just a reminder, not only to the audience, but a reminder to myself that we have to be fair. And by being fair, it just means being honest. My mom said to me when I was a kid, the only thing you owe people is honesty. That's the only thing you owe folks. And so I just want to be honest in my assessments. But what does Ms. Indies have to say? Ms. Indies. Uh James, you wrote something down to tell us at the end of the show. Don't forget. Yeah, I did. Thank you for reminding me, because I probably would have forgot. But yeah, that's what it was. Just talking about like the manipulation of it all. Like we have to be careful about the manipulation and the manipulation of like the constant tease. Like I don't like that shit either. Oh, wait till you see season 21. All the questions you have will be answered. Why? Because we fitting to put out something that's gonna drive you crazy. And guess what, y'all? The shit in and of itself is too hot for TV. And then all of a sudden, you watch the whole damn season and you spend most of the time sitting there watching the bullshit, saying to yourself,
come on now, dog. Come on, man.
why do they stay? This is ridiculous. Why do they keep doing the same thing? They just bringing up old ass storylines. We talking about Catfish. That's problem from 10 years ago. How they met, how the family came together. That's almost 40 years ago, 4 damn decades. We start having that in season 20 because we don't have nothing else to talk about. But the whole time they told us that, yeah, you have to watch season 20 because this is going to be the one to answer all the questions. Suki even thanked Cody at the end of the tell-all, talking about, thank you, Cody, for being so open, for being available to me, because I feel like we had a bunch of questions answered. Well, here's my thing. When you told us, you know, whether it was Mary, Christine, Janelle, and they weren't on a People or ET interviews or the interviews they did online, and they told us, wait till you see season 20, and they get asked a question. Well, we can't answer that question, but if you watch the show, you'll see the answer. Guess what? When the show gets aired, surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. And we sitting there with nothing. We sitting there with nothing. 2 big ass goose eggs. And we spend the whole time. And then, like I said, the problem I had with at the end of season 18 going into season 19, what the hell are we going to talk about? They didn't even do shit this season. They ain't nothing to talk about. So we're going to go back and watch the old episodes. But according to them, if you watch the old episodes, you don't know shit because we was all lying. We were pretending. Our relationships was all falling apart. We weren't together as a family. It was never like that. We were all having problems thinking about leaving. So all that shit is a lie. But even then, on top of it being a lie, you don't even have the full story because you don't even know what was going on behind the scenes. So, and then they tell us all that. And then next, guess what, y'all? In the next couple months, they're gonna start doing the rounds on YouTube channels and various outlets, and they're gonna sit there and tell us, yeah, we got a lot of stuff planned for season 21. It's a must-watch season because you're gonna see a lot of new stuff. And by the end of that season, guess what's gonna happen, y'all?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Ain't nothing gonna happen. Nothing gonna be different. James, you're being negative again. No, I'm not being negative. I want them to do better. If you don't like it, why you watch the show? Because I want them to do better. What's wrong with them doing better? What's wrong with me asking that they give us something worth watching? Like, you want me to pay for it. I'm willing to pay for it. I'm willing to watch. I'm willing to put the time and monetary investment in, but I just want to see something that's worth my time and my money. I don't think that that's an unfair ask. I don't know about y'all, but when I make decisions about buying streaming networks, you know, so I have access to shows that I do, you know, that's money that I could be using somewhere else. I'm not just sitting there with just money falling out my ass. I don't have a damn green thumb. I'm not like Janelle and
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah, right. I'm not like Janelle and Maddie out there growing farms on Tater Farms, growing trees on Tater Farms, except for my branch of trees all got money on them. Bills come in, streaming bills come in. I just go out, pick me a couple hundreds off the money tree and just flush them down the toilet. I don't have that shit. So I'm making decisions to watch this show. And all I'm asking is make my time and my investment, and not my sacrifice. I'm not sacrificing shit. I'm not going to do that. But make it worthwhile. Make it make sense. And I'm one of those people, I don't care if I got $1 million in the bank. I want my money to go as far as it can go. I want my investments to make sense. I don't just give money away. Right? So I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, don't sit there and play with me. You know? Don't play with me. I'm tired. Like, I'm just tired of, like, I guess ultimately, we could sit here and all that, but don't the kind of what people have been saying on the channel the whole time. Like, I'm just getting to a point where I'm tired of them playing in my face. Like, stop playing in my face. Don't tell me that, oh, this is real shit. Y'all need to tune in because all the answers going to be answered. Then the bullshit air. You don't tell me shit and then tell me that, okay, well, you had to try to make it make sense because I didn't tell you enough to make it make sense. And then when I make it make sense, you tell me I'm wrong and I need to stop trying to put stuff to it to make it make sense. Because that shit don't make sense. I wish. Never happened, but wish they'd come on my Take on Reality. Yeah, if you come on my channel, I'm gonna put it out there. I don't mind talking to anybody, but please know, like, I'm not the one. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and do the whole, oh, yo, you guys are amazing. And, I love you watching you guys on TV. Ooh, let me play with your nuts a little more. Ooh. No, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing it. Like, I want to have a real conversation. I want to talk to you guys like adults. Like, we're adults. Let's have grown folk conversation. We all grown. All of us, the OG3, Cody Robin, me, we're all Gen X's. We're not quite boomers, but we ain't babies either. You know what I mean? Let's have adult conversations. Not this bullshit ass, oh, who you on TV? Oh, tell me what that's like. Oh, I'm so impressed with you. Because like I said, I discovered a long time ago, like, you can fanboy or you can do your job. You can fanboy or you can do your job, but you can't do both. If you fanboying or fangirling, then you're not doing your job and you messing up an opportunity. And even to that point, my first question, if any of y'all ever think about coming on the show, because I know sometimes, the cast, the Browns sometimes watch or get back to them. If you ever want to come on the show, my first question, I'm fully transparent. My first question is, tell me something or tell me the things that you would want me to know that you think we have wrong. The things that you watch on the show and you've heard, like, you go back and you look at Reddit or the Facebook groups or YouTube or TikTok, however you watch your shit, Instagram, and you say, oh, they got it wrong. The fans have it wrong. Tell me those things. Let's talk about that shit. And tell me why they're wrong. Tell me what you think right is. And I'm going to ask you questions about what you say what right is. And when I ask you questions about what you say what right is, it's not going to start and stop with, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And don't make freaking sense because it can't happen in real life. Now come in with real answers. Here you go, Melissa. Clock in. Yeah, clock the hell in. You come on the show, clock in. Yeah, they ain't tell us shit. They go, we've been so open about everything. Then 10 years later, go, here's what really happened. Miss you with that BS. Yeah. Remember when you guys came up, and this is the point Brittany brings up that I'll reinforce all the time. What jacks me up and why I say that they be playing in our face, 10 years ago when his first show came out, people made assessments off of things that they saw on the show. And all the cast members took turns telling everybody, no, y'all got it wrong. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. I don't know how y'all jump into these conclusions. That's ridiculous. You need to stop. Stop being all petty. I mean, what the hell? What is wrong with you? Get a life. You say all that shit. Then 10 years later, you come back and basically say, yeah, remember when you said that 10 years ago? You were absolutely right. You were absolutely right, 100% right in your assessment. And I made you feel like shit about being right. And they never apologize. They never say, you know what? I was wrong for that shit. I was covering up. I was trying. It's just, yeah, well. And then not only do they say you were 100% right, but when they say basically you were 100% right, they do it in the form of this is why you need to feel sorry for me. This is how wrong they were. This is some of the evil shit Cody was doing. When you guys said Cody was doing some evil shit and Robin was doing some evil shit, and you said they did this, that, and other, this is what they were doing 10 years ago, and I said you was wrong. 10 years later, they come back. They don't say, oh, you guys were right. What they say is, this is what they were doing, and basically reiterate everything the fans had put together. And they say, this is why you should feel bad for me. Here's another example of how Cody mistreated me. But they never acknowledged that the fans were right. And that's them playing in our faces. Just saying. When you say Jen Black, Sarah from Reality Squad, that whole cast is self-righteous as hell. Oh, yeah, okay. Reality Quad. Yeah, Reality Squad. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. That's what Sarah said. I don't know. To be honest with you, I never checked to see if Jen blocked me. I don't care. Like, so if she blocked me, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I don't think I've ever requested a friend, or I don't know how she would block me or how I would know she blocked me. But I don't even know. Because I'm gonna talk my talk. Brittany not Brittany with the $1.99 super chat said he's sitting in that damn ditch. Walk right off the cliff. Don't do it to yourself, girl. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. I'ma do me. I'ma live my life. Right off the cliff they go. Then you want to complain that you hurt your ankles. I watch you walk off the cliff. I told you don't do it. Then you walk off the cliff anyway while you're giving me the finger. Then you want to talk about your legs hurt. What you want me to do? Thank you, Pretty Not Pretty. And that's why I say don't get the iron apparel, throw it up in the clinkety clank, trying to defend somebody else's stuff, and they won't even tell you what's going on for real, for real. Oh, you checked on an old live with Sarah. Okay. So if I can see that, well, I guess I'm assuming if I can see her page, she didn't block me. I guess that's it. That might have been how I checked. I think that's how I checked back then. But I don't even know why she blocked Sarah, because Sarah wasn't like, if Jen blocked Sarah, that's the most useless block ever. Because Sarah wasn't at the time. Even today, even to now, I don't think Sarah has ever said anything cross or crazy about Jen. Like, she never came for Jen's neck. So Jen blocking Sarah would be like, I don't know what the fuck. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? At most, what maybe Sarah asked her to be on the show, like, come on my show and we'll talk. I'm a fan. I love Mary. I love your energy or whatever. I love to have you on the show. Maybe she did something like that, and then that deserved an insta block. I guess that's the only way I could see it even coming into question. But just don't go on her show. You don't have to block her. That's just crazy to me. Okay, that's what I did. Okay. I was just saying you weren't blocked yet. It's probably coming. It's probably coming. If I ain't blocked now, she'd have to. Well, see, the crazy part is, in order for somebody to block me, she'd have to find me to block me. Yeah, because I don't even use Instagram. So I don't, she'd have to create an account for me and then block my ass. How about that? That'd be awesome. Oh, okay. She assumes that She said something about Mary, and Jen got mad. Well, I mean, that's tough titty. Like, okay, she's on a show. I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna support Mary. I'm gonna block you. And Sarah is even look. Sarah is probably one of the more, and I mean as the most generous possible interpretation. Sarah is probably one of the most calm people when it comes to a lot of the sister wives, especially with the OG3. Sarah is very forgiving when it comes to the OG3. You know, so blocking Sarah because she might have called Mary out on some shit that Mary did or said makes zero sense. Like it would make actually, I've taken probably stronger stances on the OG3 or even Cody and Robin than Sarah's taken. So it would make sense for them to be mad at me. Right? Maybe they blocked Sarah because she was maybe that's it. They couldn't find me. They blocked Sarah because we was doing the lives together. She called my block. Oh yeah, I can't find James. So I'm gonna block you. Maybe that's why she got blocked. But Sarah, because especially at the time, like I had watched a lot of Sarah's content when she said that she got blocked, and I don't think she said anything. If anything, she was singing Jen's praises about how, because that was when Jen first came on the show, and she was saying a lot of the stuff that the fans were saying and the content creators were saying for years. And Jen just basically got up and reiterated a lot of the commentary that have preceded her from content creators, including Sarah. You know, talking shit about Cody or whatever. And then you gonna jump on it because maybe she said something about like the catfish or something like that. All of a sudden, she's an evil person. Like, that's ridiculous. Saying Sarah there catching strays. Yeah, right. Don't be walking next to his ass. You know, he be taking shots at him. I've never heard Sarah say anything bad, especially compared to other viewers. Like, yeah, other people who've come on and think like Sarah is not like she is not pushing the line. Like she is not that one. You know, like Sarah's friendly. Like, why would you block Sarah? Sarah's not even confrontational like that. Like, why would you block Sarah? And if you well, it knows the, you know, a strong note, little, you know, strong hit there. If you scared of Sarah, you definitely shouldn't come on my show. if you looking at Sarah like, oh shit, her positions might be too pointed, you definitely don't want to come over this way. You definitely don't want to play with me. You know what I mean? It's like jumping in the deep end of the pool with an alligator. Like you stay over there in the toddler pool, man. And it's not even that Sarah does bad interviews. Like, because I've seen Sarah do an interview with she did an interview with Ben, and that was a good interview. It was like it was informative. Like she was, you know, affable. Like she wasn't like F Cody, you know. Blah, blah, blah. She didn't go off on Ben. She allowed him the opportunity to say what he had to say. Go on her show, Jen. Don't be scared. On her show. What was this? I need to know if Janelle got Daisy and Megatron blocked. I can see her searching them out. Yeah, she might be searching for Megatron for sure. Yeah, Megatron was, especially when them stories started dropping. Megatron was dropping them D-bombs off the top rope. I'm telling you. I was saying, like, Megatron was going in deep. Yeah, I'm saying she was hitting hard. I was like, damn. Even I was like, ooh, ooh, Megatron, ooh. Somebody need to get to Rock, Hulk Hogan, resurrect him from the grave. Get the Macho Man Randy Savage, because Megatron cannot be stopped. Shit, She was like, that shit was getting brutal. But you know, the jacked up part about it was like Megatron would say stuff, and it wasn't even like it was mean, nasty, or she was just being excessive with it. She was just making solid ass points. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the jacked up part about it. Megatron, like she was making solid points. You know what I mean? She was making solid points. It wasn't like she was just like, F this one, F that one, blah, 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 just out of nowhere. She was like, ba 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 ba, like a speed bag. Just yeah, make her try and let her go. Yeah, right. Tell you. There's times when I was a young man, I'd be driving through the city. I would be going somewhere. And every now and again, I see a little girl and little boy out there fighting. You know, a couple times, not like every day, but a couple times I saw that shit. And you know, when girls and boys are about the same age, and like grade school or younger, before puberty really starts hitting and like growth hormone hit, them girls was tearing them boys' asses up. A couple times, I remember one time I had to stop my car. Say, girl, leave that boy alone. Get off, get off of him. He gonna kill his ass. You don't leave that boy alone. Boy, you better go home. Tell your mama. Shit. Girl, you better stop. That's how I felt with Megatron. Leave him alone, Megatron, please. He needs some milk. Oh shit. Oh man. I'm just saying, guys. That's just where I'm at. I'm gonna let you guys go because I said I wouldn't keep everybody crazy, and I did actually. Almost 3 hours. I said I was only gonna do 2 hours. I'm gonna be responsible. Moving forward, I think the way I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna try to air the show about 9 o'clock. I couldn't do it tonight because I had some running around that I had to get done. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to go a little earlier so that way it doesn't impact a lot of my East Coast people. Also, during the week, if you guys want to see the replay, it'll be on SpeakPipe or not SpeakPipe. My Take on Reality live. I think this one actually might be on both channels. But moving forward after this week, the replays will be on My Take on Reality live. So if you want to see them, that's where they'll be. All right, on that channel. But yeah, we have some things coming up. I have to shoot the video about the book that I reviewed, the Catfish book. I've said it before. That book was lent to me, and thankful for that because I never would have bought that shit on my own. And I do not recommend that book at all. That book is bullshit. Don't get that book. I do not recommend that book at all. There are some things I think that we can glean from it, and definitely some things we could talk about with regard to the book. But as far as getting information about the catfish situation, as far as getting any insight about that situation, no bueno. The book is bullshit. So, but we will because I put time and effort into it, and I think there's interesting parts in it, not parts, but interesting elements of the book that I think deserve some recognition because, and again, maybe this is me being unfair because I think that by reading the book, it actually puts me in a better position to defend Mary in some of her actions and some of her perceptions as far as the catfisher was concerned, the catfish situation was concerned. And I want to be able to bridge that gap using the book. But I can't emphasize this shit enough. If you don't have the book, you have not read the book is not worth a read. It is not worth your time. It's certainly not worth your money. Right? I will never recommend something or put something out or advertise for something that I personally would not consume or enjoy consuming. And when I say that I'm going to do a review of the book, I'm going to do a review of the book the way I do reviews of books or critical assessments of reading material, but it's not as cut and crystal as it's just well written and it's so informative. It's not. It's poorly written. It's not worth it. Whose book? It's it's technically supposed to be from Sam Jacob Cooper. That's the person who Mary was supposed to be in a relationship with, but it's really by Jackie Overton, who is the actual catfish, the woman who tricked Mary. They wrote a book and they titled it Crazy Pants under a person's name who they used to trick Mary. So again, that's something that we can talk about, but the book itself is just nutso. It reads more like a manifesto than yeah, the catfish Jackie, yeah. Like this, yeah, read that book. To be honest with you, I'm even more in the camp of because when I first heard about the catfish stuff, just real quick, when I first heard about the catfish stuff, I said, y'all didn't call the cops. Right? Y'all damn cops. What are you trying to figure this shit out for? You ain't Batman. Come figure it, you call the cops. That's what they do. Right? And after reading this shit, I'm definitely in camp call the cops. I'm 100% camp call the cops. Right? You should have called the police. This chick is nuts. Like this shit is bonkers. Like shit. Woo. Like this that kind of crazy is like, what the shit? What the shit? Gee, whoa. I'm talking about whoa. Whoa. But we'll get into it. Sam Cooper, the father of 5 adopted kids, all fake. Yeah, right. He's single. He'd adopted 5 children all alone. First of all, you know how hard it is to adopt kids in the United States? You know how hard it is to adopt children? It's not like, oh, I just want some kids to do my laundry. Like, it's hard to adopt kids. 1, 2, as a single man or a single person, really, adopting kids. Oh, they looking at you. They looking at you. You know what I mean? You can't look that. Like, what the? Yeah, I want to have 5 children. Like, this is not McDonald's, sir. You can't get a number 5. Like, what are you talking about? That's not a thing. So, yeah, but the book is nuts. And it's not even like, if it was, and just to be very clear, again, if it was funny nuts, I'll be like, yeah, read it because the shit is hilarious. This is like sad, scary nuts. Like, it's sad and it's scary because like this person is like completely deluded. But then you realize that this delusion is actually dangerous. Like it's borderline dangerous. I would have real concerns. Like just reading a book, I have real concerns. So yeah, but we'll be doing that. Those videos will be dropping. And then I'm going to do a video on the interview with Kendra. And I have some other videos, some new content I wanted to roll out onto the channel. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But thank you guys so much. Before we go, let me give a little shout out to Super Chat crew. We have Brittany, not Brittany, one of the Mega Mod Super Squad folks. We have Allison Gaines in the house. We have Ty. And we have I'm gonna say Brittany, not Brittany again, because Brittany, not Brittany. Why not? Why not? But yeah, I thank you guys for hanging out with me, especially on this late night on a Sunday evening and part of the Rewatch crew. Hello, folks. Let me give you a little something. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We will be doing a 9:00 show on Sunday nights. We'll be talking about more than just Sister Wives too, just moving forward. Just let you guys know. But as things come up, as things pop off, we'll be discussing those things as well. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Make sure you take care of your side, your kickstands, the people who support you in your life that maybe go unnoticed. But and if you can honestly say, you know what, I don't have a kickstand in my life, you might be the kickstand. And if you're the kickstand, if you recognize that you're the kickstand and you're always worried about somebody else, please take time out to take care of yourself. Especially if you think about it, no, I don't have time. If you stop and think for a minute, how many people actually rely on you and how many people actually need you around. And so the importance that you have and the ramifications that you have in other people's lives and the ramifications of you not being around and what it would mean if you weren't around for folks that you help out and you support and you spend so much time with. You recognize the importance of you taking care of and maintaining yourself, giving yourself some time to heal, giving yourself some time that, especially if you're in the trenches, you're helping people, you're doing battle for them, you have to take time out so you can recover yourself so that you can engage in the next thing that's coming up, because life has a way of piling on. So if you don't give yourself time to relax, to recuperate, and to recover, then what life will do invariably is it will turn around and it'll stack on top of you. So it'll snowball into your problems and your issues. Like you start out helping other people, then all of a sudden you start getting your problems, but you aren't ready for your problems because you was too busy with somebody else's problems. Your problems overwhelm you. Next thing you know, you can't deal with your problems and you aren't there to help the people that you care about with their problems. So just make sure you take care of yourself. Marlo Peterson sent out a special I love you kickstands. I might you know what? And I have and I'll just let me tell you guys a little secret. I'm create in the process now of trying to create some t-shirts and things that I was gonna put out. And I think that's gonna be one of my t-shirts. Love you kickstands. That's gonna be a thing. So I'm gonna write that down as a note, and that will be a thing. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Have a great night and an even better morning, and have an awesome week. I'll be back on Tuesday for the call-in show, and of course Thursday for the Speak Pipe show. Then again next Saturday for the members roundtable. All right. Hopefully everybody had an awesome Valentine's Day. For those who celebrated, happy Valentine's Day. If you didn't have anybody to celebrate with, hopefully you loved on yourself and took care of yourself and treated yourself. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Okay. Self-love is important too. All right. So make sure you take care of yourself. Thank you to the Mega Mod Squad, Lizzie B, Carmel Cuties, and Brittany Not Brittany. I appreciate you all. These ladies really helped me out. So I want to give them a huge thank you. But thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Have a great night. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been my take on reality. And